Your ways are not our ways, Lord. Your thoughts are not our thoughts. For how unsearchable, unknowable is the wisdom of our God.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Pastor Dominique again in our Hour of Wisdom. And then today we'll continue with our invited guest. She will present herself again today.
SOMWE. I'm the wife to Pastor Dominique SOMWE, the success coach, as you know him.
And then today we're going to continue on our subject, and then we'll finish it today. We're talking about financial intelligence. And tomorrow or another day, we'll continue with emotional intelligence. When we spoke about financial intelligence, we told you that we're going to divide it into three parts. The first part was how to create an income. And then we touched on that the last time that we met, and we're going to finish that. Now we're going to discuss, once you've got an income, how to manage your income so that you can get to what we call disposable income. And then after that, now we'll show you how to deal with that disposable income, the two mindset that we spoke to you, the mindset of saving, and the mindset of consumer, and the mindset of an investor, three mindset. And then let's now go back again on how to create an income. And today we want to touch on what our guest spoke about last time. This is a financial order that is written in the field of finances, which we found very easy for a layperson to understand the day-to-day finances. And it's going to speak to you about the four quadrants, about how to create an income.
Yeah, if talking about the quadrant, so the people that have been that have studied about finances, especially into the Robert Kiyosaki book, they are talking about the four types of people, and then who are divided into four quadrants. The first quadrant is the quadrant of the employees. These are people that are just going to work, getting their salary, eating it, and spending it, and then they want security. That's what they know how to do. And then they are called poor people. Then the second quadrant is the quadrant of people that are called self-employed or small businesses, small business owners. And then these people have got, they are basically the boss of their own, meaning they've decided, no, I don't want to go every morning to go to work and come back and then get a salary and all that. I want to create my own income, and then they make a small business of their own. But basically that business depends on their presence there. And if they are not there, then that they won't have any income. And in that small business owners, or self-employed, you find people that they were working for the government, maybe like doctors, and then they go and open their own practice. You find people that have been working maybe for somebody into, I don't know, into a retail business. They go and open their own retail business. These two are called poor, according to the Robert Kiyosaki classification. They two constitute almost 95% of the world population are in this group. They want security, and they are only controlling less than 5% of the world resources. And then on the other side, you find people that he calls rich. These are investors in one quadrant, and in the other quadrant you get business owners, big business owners, not those small businesses, but big business owners. Investors will be people that have worked and then they've invested their money in different places, stock markets, and they are in properties, they are in different stuff. Be it whether they are there or not, their income, they will still get it. These are investors. They are living on passive income because their income doesn't depend on their presence there. That's why they are calling them rich people. And the big business owners, you get in there all these big corporate, and then you get all these big franchises and all that. These people, whether they are there or not, their income keep on coming. These two groups, he calls them rich people. They are only 5% of the world population, but they are controlling more than 95% of the world resources, meaning their money is working for them, and the other side, these people are working for money. Poor people work for money, rich people have their money working for them. Basically, these are the 4 quadrants of the Robert Kiyosaki book.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm quite impressed about those 4 quadrants. What do we want to do now is just to be more practical. Yeah, we have given you Musa knowledge. We want to bring it down to your level where you're more practical. Basically what she's saying, the employees and the self-employed or the small business owners, they work for their money. But if you go to business people, big business, they've got people working for them, and investors, they've got their money working for them. But we want just to take you through what we call a parable of the pipeline concept. You know, like a parable, like a story, and then how you can create a pipeline. That means a source of continuous income, no matter what your level is. No matter if you're an employee, or you a self-employed, you a small business owner, or you an investor, or even a big business owner, it can apply for you. This parable goes like this. There were 2 young people. We can name them according to whatever you are. You can give them name. Let's give them the name of Peter and
John.
Paul. Yes, my wife says John. Let's say Peter and John. Peter and John had a dream. They wanted to be financially free. That means they wanted to have enough money so that he can support all their needs. And then in a small village that they were living in, an opportunity came. People of the village said, you know what? We want water. The water is in the valley, and then we want water in the village, and then we'll pay for it. You can go with the bucket. Each time you put up a bucket, we will do what? We will pay for a bucket. They were quite happy to make some income. Then they became bucket carriers. Let's say they pay them $1 per bucket.
Yeah.
You can continue as well. Yes? Will you continue that story?
Let's say that they will pay them like $1 per bucket, and then every time, so Peter was the strong one, and John, because John was the young, no, let's put the opposite.
Yes.
Okay, John, the young one, was the strong one, so you would go quickly and pick up bucket and bring it to the village and pick up bucket, and every time they will pay him money, and then he goes. And but Peter was the older one.
But more wiser.
Yes.
You can see at the beginning, John was making more money than Peter.
Yeah.
And then Peter was making less money, but he was wiser. So even the fact that he was making less money than John, he decided to divide his time. He said, in the morning, I'll carry on bucket. In the afternoon, I'll do something else. I will start building up a pipeline from the source of water to the village. Of course, many people thought he was a fool, because his income even dropped further down. And John was making a killing, was making more money, but he was carrying bucket, and then Peter keep on building his pipeline up until one time the pipeline reached the village. So he had now a source that was bringing water from the source of water to the village. It put a tape there, so now people will come straight to him. He will open a tape, fill up a bucket, and he even dropped the price of a bucket, $50. So he drove John out of the market.
Because John was tired now.
John was tired. He couldn't carry more buckets than Peter. Is,
And the price.
and the price dropped. So, and then Peter has built a source of income, continuous. He will just open the tape and water will flow and he will get his money. So now what happened, he even employed John to work for him. He even take that notion and he went to another village, then another village, then he became a millionaire. That's what we call the parable of the pipeline. What's the moral of the story?
Yes.
The moral of the story is, even if you've got a job, let's consider that job, whatever you do, professor at varsity, doctor, whatever you are, is like you're carrying bucket. You're selling your time, you for money. Now divide your time. Use part of your time to start building up a pipeline for your income, so that at one stage you will have a continuous income.
Yeah.
Now we want to touch very quickly on what we call disposable income, and then we will end up by telling you what we mean by the 3 mindset of how you deal with your money that you have available. Disposable income.
Yeah, I think that disposable income is the income that it doesn't depend on your presence day. It doesn't depend on your presence at work. So maybe let me just speak about the passive income. Is the income that is coming from your investment. You have put the money somewhere and then it starts bringing you money. It starts working for you and it starts bringing you money without your presence there. And this disposable income, you get it after spending, because when we get our income, usually we spend and then we get something that will remain and that will save. And that's something that remains there that you can save or invest. That's what we basically calling a disposable income.
What is you saying basically? Let's say you got a salary of $100,000 US, and you spent 99.999 thousand. You end up with zero at the end of the month. And somebody that has got only 10,000, and then he only spent 2,000, he will always end up with 80,000 at the end of the month. You will have to know how to live so that you can have money left.
After
if
spending.
you see that your expenses are too high, then you have to increase the income so that at the end you can have some income left at the end of the month. It's only when you've got that income then you can decide, should I put it aside as an investment
Or saving.
Should I put it aside as a saving? Or should I even consume more good? Usually some people, they've got a disposable income because they've got the consumer mindset. They go even in more consuming. They buy more clothes that they don't need. They buy more shoes. They buy more cars. And at the end, they don't go forward in terms of their finances. So don't continue with the consumer mindset. You can at least do the saving mindset. The saving mindset, that saving can always carry you at one difficult time. But the saving mindset as well won't get you to be rich. You'll have to go into the consumer mindset. We're not expert in advising you how to invest, but you can find all line of investments. But the good thing about the investment is that when you invest, you've got what you call compounding interest, especially when you leave your investment for a long time. So we've touched with you. I don't know, my wife will summarize more or less and then give you some idea, practical, how you go about it before we finish this financial intelligence.
Yeah, just before the summary, what I wanted to say is that disposable income doesn't depend on how big is your income. Because what we've noticed in life is that people will be gaining, let's say, like, okay, I want to speak about rent, because he's speaking about dollars.
Yeah, because I'm an American.
So I'm speaking about rent. Let's say that your income is 10,000 rand. People will spend maybe 9,000. spend. And then when you double their salary, they will still spend more. So it doesn't matter if you have more income or less to have a disposable income, but you must just be smart about your spending and then be disciplined into your spending, and that's what will help you actually to have a disposable income. Active income, you work and then you spend whatever that remains. Try to make sure that you getting something that is remaining at the end of the month so that you can start saving, and then you can also start investing even while you are spending. I think that maybe we'll touch on that another day, because your expenses can actually be a source of income. That is a smarter way actually of having another income, because if you are waiting to save only after spending, usually there's no much that is remaining.
Absolutely. It's a large subject. We can't finish all of it. We'll end up today just by recommending you some books that you can read so that you can go forward. Very straightforward. They're not very difficult to read, like Rich Dad and Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, Grow Rich by Thinking Rich by Napoleon Hills, The Richest Man in Babylon. So you've got those books that we can recommend you so that you can start improving your financial intelligence.
So be smart actually while you are spending. Don't spend all the money, and spend wisely so that you can start getting some income while you are spending. Just get all the information that you can, because we have seen so many people that are completely unable to save anything, because saving is not easy. Whether you have 10,000 rand a month or when you have got R1 million a month, saving is just not easy. People like spending, but if you can be wise so that you can create an income while you are spending, it will actually be a good way of starting. But be smart. Don't spend all the money, because you never know what can happen.
God bless you. It's your success coach, Pastor Dominique. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.